Hello everyone. I'm sure you met my little co-star. Yes. Yes, you can give kisses. Yes, even though I don't have one doggy, I have another one right now. Oh, goodness. Alright, well, I think you know why we're doing this. The last episode, the first disc of Season 7, I only have 3 more to go anyway. Anyway, Parental Glidance, let's do it. Alright. So, this episode starts out with the CMNC forming a slingshot. Okay, well, first of all, how exactly were you able to find the parts to a slingshot? And also, I know you can't fly, Scootaloo, but why do you think that a slingshot would be such a good idea? Well, while that's true, you know, you could always ask Twilight to do that spell that she did in Sonic Rainboom where you could walk on the clouds if you really wanted to go that badly. And she cast that spell when she was a unicorn, and she's now an alicorn, so I think that spell would be easy as 1, 2, 3. I agree, that needs some kind of explanation, because I don't believe a slingshot is the safest bet. Yeah, so the episode basically points out 3 things that I could have just basically said, but it ultimately doesn't matter, because before Scootaloo can even think about it, the slingshot launches her towards Cloudsdale, and because this is a cartoon about talking horses, she's perfectly okay and manages to crash into the clouds. But she then is met up by a face that seems a bit familiar in terms of the mane. So yeah, she basically crash landed at the home of Rainbow Dash's parents. And pretty much Scootaloo's reaction is pretty much the reaction of basically meeting a famous celebrity, since her idol, she is meeting her parents. Like I said, pretty much the reaction when you basically meet your favorite actor or actress in person. And we get to hear the screaming continue as we basically call upon Rainbow Dash's mom. Which only gets Scootaloo more excited.
I don't know, but you just made it worse.
I like these 2 already.
He's doing it again!
Wait, Princess Celestia commemorative plates? Again, raises a lot of questions, doesn't it? I'm assuming if those plates are expensive, you're probably gonna have to pay a lot of money for those. And Scootaloo making an adorable face. Also, it kind of makes you wonder, honestly, I don't remember if I ever did this kind of project in elementary school, but let's be honest here, if anyone is considering doing this kind of project, please bring it back, and if you're going to make it creative, like a scrapbook like Scootaloo is doing, please make that happen. So, anyways, we do find out that Rainbow Dash's parents are just about as pretty much big a fans as Scootaloo is, and she pretty much gets a tour of the whole house, and basically gets a tour of pretty much all of Rainbow Dash's homes. And she was so powerful, she was able to eat the whole sandwich in half.
I think it's time for a tour of the house.
Okay.
Close your mouth.
She was an early learner and so rambunctious. Combination was
Exciting.
Gotta admit, kind of makes you wonder, you know, in real life, if anyone could be as enthusiastic as Rainbow Dash's parents. Like, honestly, I wish that there were parents nowadays that were just as enthusiastic as Rainbow Dash is and could basically take anything into a positive light. Like, I wish for this. And Scootaloo's taking a picture of the pictures. So then she goes into Rainbow Dash's room, where basically she gets excited in her childhood room.
When the going gets tough, the tough don't notice because they have hard shells. That's so Rainbow Dash.
But then they basically show her a very special room next. The bed where she was conceived. Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. What they do actually show her is basically a collection of pretty much a lot of rewards that Rainbow Dash got that are completely unrelated to flying.
I installed the sound effects myself. Great, huh?
So somebody sells sound effects? There's somebody in Equestria that sells sound effects, and what, does her dad, like, build the sound effects into the door? Kind of makes you think. Again, just a lot of things make you think.
So great. And look at this. She was wearing it when she spoke her first word. Oh, cool. And this broken lantern is from when she first learned to fly.
And from the looks of it, it seems like they took the broken lantern, painted it gold, and slapped it onto a trophy.
And this bitten apple from when she grew her first tooth. So many memories. You're so lucky to have all of these. Well, I may have a ton of Dash Mentos, but I don't have any of those Rainbow Dash Saves Ponytail headlines like you.
So it kind of makes you wonder on that.
Tracy, steal these.
So again, it kind of makes you wonder how the poster's like that.
You're so wonderful.
So eventually, Scootaloo basically lets the cat out of the bag that her parents don't know that their daughter is a full-fledged Wonderbolt.
You should see his faces right now.
I gotta get this episode a lot of points. I really love it when the episode just makes the jokes for me. But yeah, pretty much their parents are now ecstatic at the fact that their daughter achieved their dream of being a Wonderbolt.
Great timing.
It's unbelievable. You two were kind enough to show me the Rainbow Dash you know. Now please allow me to show you the Rainbow Dash I know.
And by pretty much that, I'm assuming that Scootaloo pretty much took her friend's advice and be like, yeah, maybe I should probably get a chariot or a hot air balloon ride to get myself there, even though Rainbow Dash's parents fly. And speaking of that, they pretty much go to Wonderbolt Academy, and Rainbow Dash gets a little bit antsy about that.
You. Oh, honey, it's so great to see you too. And wow, you were so amazing up there
call them friends, to say the least. I think at most I would basically call them co-workers. Because considering of what we've seen in previous episodes of the Wonderbolts, I highly doubt any of them, outside of maybe Spitfire and Soren, are considered friend material. Just saying.
Hello, team. I'm Winnie Whistle, the mom of the best Wonderbolt ever. Yeah! Just kidding. You guys are great too. So mean. Hello, ma'am. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. And love those goggles. Love them. You know I have goggles too, but they're mostly just for swimming. Oh, at that time. Steve, they don't want to hear about your bad time.
Hi, Careful.
You know what? I'm too dirty for that joke. But, yeah, you can kind of tell by Rainbow Dash's reactions with her parents that it seems to be rather delicate, as Rainbow Dash basically has one-on-one with Scootaloo and basically asks her, why is she doing this?
Something wrong? Yeah, you should have warned me that you were bringing my parents, or talking to Twilight or something. I just showed up. Why? It's just my parents and I have a delicate relationship. I love them very much, and we're really close. There's a reason I didn't tell them I'm a Wonderbolt. It can be a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah, and let's be honest, because pretty much young adults pretty much have this problem as well that Rainbow Dash is going through. Hell, I'll even admit that because you want to be very delicate with your parents because you love them very much, but when you're someone like me who is living with them, they sometimes drive you absolutely insane, but you know that you love them, but that relationship is very delicate, especially when you're out of college and you're a young adult. So you can totally sympathize with Rainbow Dash going on with this scenario.
Really? Yeah, really. Now you've invited a whole lot of crazy into my life. What's wrong with a little support?
Well, we're about to see that support as pretty much the CMNC, the rest of the CMNC come along, as I'm assuming they probably took the other approaches that did not include that slingshot, as Scootaloo basically gives Rainbow Dash's parents the brief overview of how she became a Wonderbolt in the first place.
Rainbow Dash isn't a Wonderbolt, then what's the point? But now she is!
And she earned it. Did you know it all started when she was brought in the coveted Wonderbolt Academy, training under Spitfire.
Who, like I said, are pretty much co-workers now.
Didn't know that. How wonderful! But then she had some enemy competition, especially against another Pegasus named Lightning Bell.
Question, Scootaloo, how do you know that?
Oh no! But of course, Rainbow Dash proved to be the best, and later made it into the Wonderbolt Reserve.
Through basically lots of studying to try to even get that far. She left that part out.
Jealous ex-Wonderbolt, Wind Rider, was worried that Rainbow Dash might break his speed record.
Yeah, and I should probably mention this really quick that, honestly, I'm probably a bit ashamed of, is the fact that the voice actor for Wind Rider actually ended up passing away a few weeks ago. So, yeah, all the things I said about him in Rarity Investigates, it kind of makes me look like a scumbag, honestly. I mean, obviously I have a problem with the character, just not the voice actor, and basically my heart goes out to the family of his voice actor, so I just thought that I should point that out, because, God, feels like ever since like 2014, a lot of actors and actresses I've watched growing up, whether in movies or TV shows, are just starting to like drop dead since I graduated high school. God, I feel so old now. And that makes me wonder if the Wonderbolts ever bothered to give her that apology. And no, I am not getting over that, because it's times like that where I'm even wondering if being a part of the Wonderbolts is even worth it.
Oh, no. Thanks to Rarity, Rainbow Dash proved her innocence and became a backup Wonderbolt.
And we never saw Wind Rider ever again.
Until Fire Tree retired and she became an official Wonderbolt.
I'm not even going to touch on that episode.
Hooray! Wow, that's a gripping tale.
You really know your Rainbow Dash history. You're going to do great on your report.
But we do kind of get to see what's going on, because we see Rainbow Dash's parents being incredibly supportive to the point where they actually bring fireworks to a show. And even at other events, Rainbow Dash gets embarrassed in public as they basically try to hold. And eventually it gets Rainbow Dash, brings her to her boiling point.
It's past the bell.
This is ridiculous. Mom and Dad, support Bolt, Scootaloo, support us. Exactly why I didn't tell you I was a Wonderbolt. You're just too much. Did we do something wrong? Yes. The fireworks, the cheerleading, and actually would compare who was better or worse and hanging up a towel.
We're just trying to be supportive.
Well, I'm tired of it. I've had enough of you two being so proud of every little ridiculous, insignificant thing I do.
I haven't busted this joke out in a long time, but after witnessing that, the Nostalgia Critic in his North review, do your thing.
Damn, that is harsh.
I think we should leave. First of all, great job yelling at us. No one convinced their parents no more worthless. Did you?
Your words were direct, clear, and soothing. Is there nothing you can do?
Why? Scootaloo, you don't understand. I met your parents hoping to learn more about you, but I don't like what I found out. I'll find something else in my hero report on.
Yeah. So, there's a lot to unpack with that scene. On the one hand, it is pretty much understanding of what Rainbow Dash is going through, because like I said, when you're a young adult and you don't realize it, you get to that boiling point with your parents. But even then, it's your parents and they love you no matter what, and it's that relationship that you don't want to come off like a jackass. Yes. And yeah, obviously, it definitely was not okay for Rainbow Dash to yell at her parents, who are, by the way, probably the nicest group of parents I have ever seen in a kids show, and take everything in stride in a positive light, for the most part. And basically, after she sees the scrapbook that Scootaloo puts together, Rainbow Dash realizes that she made a bit of an oopsie-daisy and goes to Scootaloo and explains why she got so upset, and basically explains...
See this picture? It looks like I won something awesome, but actually...
And last but not least, it's time to hand out our participant stickers.
Oh boy, and I think maybe, honestly, I've really enjoyed this episode so far throughout this entire review, but now comes the part where continuity gets punched in the crotch. Yeah, for the past amount of episodes where I keep cheering hooray for continuity, This is one of those times where it seems like continuity gets punched in the crotch. Because at this flashback, we see Rainbow Dash obviously being in last place, but we see a young version of Fleetfoot, Spitfire, Soren, and Lightning Dust, implying that Rainbow Dash has seen all of them when they were kids, even though being part of the Wonderbolts was her lifelong dream. And yet, it raises a lot of questions to make it seem like that she knew Spitfire, Soren, Fleetfoot, and to a lesser extent Lightning Dust, since she was a filly. Which means that her meeting with Lightning Dust in Wonderbolts Academy for the first time would make absolutely no sense. So, way to go, episode. You were doing great, and then you decided to punch continuity right in the crotch. And another thing that I've pretty much been tiptoeing around, as we see in this flashback, is, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to say it. Rainbow Dash's mom is hot. Come on, I'm only human, damn it. Damn it. And as we see them rocking the 80s style flashback, this just makes her even more hot. Which I know is really hard to say for a mother of a cartoon horse, but like I said, I'm only human, damn it. So anyway, so Rainbow Dash then explains that she thought that she basically gotten better, which basically didn't take long at all, but when she basically got the top rank, it basically got worse in her eyes. Which you think it would make you wonder if they basically started to use different ponies. I'm sorry, I can't get past that. The fact that they used filly versions of Soren, Fleetfoot, Spitfire, and Lightning Dust when it seems like Rainbow Dash was meeting them for the first time back in seasons 1 through 3. It's like continuity is getting repeatedly bludgeoned in the head, and then getting hit in the crotch repeatedly, and then having a shark come and then chomping on the nuts.
You know, some ponies would dream of having parents like that. Yeah, right. They would. Me. Growing up, I never thought I'd be the best at anything, because no pony ever told me. But your parents told you over and over again. Look, that stock taker ever. That carrot eater under 3, greatest napper of all time. I am pretty good at napping. I can fall asleep anywhere.
It's not like me where I really just need to go on my bed to nap.
Huh? For your entire life, your parents gave you the confidence to believe in yourself. You're right. I was always so embarrassed by my parents that I didn't realize their support actually made me the awesome, confident, amazing, awesome, and awesome pony I am. And I took them for granted. And you yelled at them. I gotta make this right.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty much at the end of the day that I think a lot of us can really take to heart is that, yes, your parents, especially when you're a young adult, will drive you absolutely mad, but when it depends on how they raise you, they'll make you who the person that you are. And at the end of the day, they'll still love you no matter what. Because we all have had our moments with them, and we regretted them later, and we always made up. Because I think it's just part of that relationship and dynamic. So, yeah. So, Rainbow Dash basically then decides to make it up as Scootaloo basically brings him with blindfolds on, as Rainbow Dash decides to surprise them with,
I love my parents, and I'm sorry that I took them for granted, and I know that they made me who I am today, so I really want to make it up to them. Amen.
and with that, Rainbow Dash, with the help of the Wonderbolts, who for once aren't acting like jackasses, basically help make it up to her parents as they basically come in for a group hug.
You didn't have to do all that. It's kind of embarrassing.
It is a bit much.
And that's why Rainbow
I forgot about the school report thing. Yeah, honestly, I guess I know it might be basically sort of a plot point for Scootaloo to be involved in the story for Rainbow Dash to learn, but honestly, because the report thing is probably mentioned at least 2 or 3 times, I actually forgot about it the entire time that I was watching this episode again. Like I was more focused on Rainbow Dash and her dynamic with her parents, that the whole school report thing that Scootaloo had, I actually forgot about, even though it was mentioned like 2 or 3 times. And yes, like I said, I know it's basically a point for Scootaloo to be involved in the episode, but it's like, what's the point of having it in if you're just going to forget about it?
Thank you, Scootaloo. Very well researched. But a little heavy on the pictures, and there was a moldy sandwich in your report.
Yeah, was the sandwich really necessary?
I'll give you a B. Yeah! Greatest report ever of all time!
And basically the episode ends with Rainbow Dash and her parents cheering on Scootaloo, and Shirley has absolutely no idea how to handle the situation. So that was Parental Glidance, and I really freaking love this episode. Honestly, there's really only 1 or 2 things that I really didn't like about this episode, and really, it's just basically plot holes and continuity errors up the wazoo. But that's only in like the last third. Most of the episode was rather enjoyable. Rainbow Dash's parents are just freaking adorable, awesome, and wholesome. You can sympathize with Rainbow Dash a lot in this episode, especially when you're a young adult, and you basically get to see what happens, what your parents affect you in your life, how they affect you and how they raise you. You know, even though they can be embarrassing at times and they can get you to your boiling point, at the end of the day, they're always there to support you. And this episode basically shows that Rainbow Dash still cares about for her parents and how you don't always take them for granted. And this episode was very, very animation reaction heavy, and I just loved every moment of it. It just left me in stitches. So even though Shirley gave Scootaloo's report a B, I'm giving this episode an A. Really, it only escapes. Sadly, it doesn't get an A+, only because of those couple of continuity errors. But even though, despite my ranting about it, it didn't hurt the overall experience, and it didn't hurt the overall episode. So yeah, Parental Glidance is an A. Alright, I'm Flip King Gamer, and next time I will see you guys in Hard to Say Anything. See you guys next time. Bye.